we could thank them as well. Sean Longacre is the principal of this building, and he has been the administrator who has been working hand in hand with special educators, general educators, and a parent group that consists of 4 women of children with special needs. Their names are Lisa Jegan, Dawn Wheeler, Jen McCoy, and Jenny Hansen. Jenny Hansen is right back here. You could wave really quickly. So those 4 women have started, a parent forum that we encourage you to take a look at signing up for. It's at that main table. And what they do is they kind of bridge that gap for communication between the needs of students with, for students with special education needs and what we're doing for them at the school, but then not only what we're doing for them at the school level, what they can possibly be getting outside of school. We have done a variety of smaller events from this. There's Mr. Longacre there, by the way. Again, who we mentioned earlier, the principal, the administrator, who's really been integral in making sure that this type of communication happens and that these types of presentations happen. But there have been other presentations like Karen Talion, who is a local state senator. She came and she spoke to our group in order to answer questions and present about legal matters regarding students who receive special education services, specifically with bills regarding education. There have been individual needs-based type of presentations like Jacob's Ladder that has come. Behavior specialists from Porter County Education Services have also come in order to, again, provide presentations and information for parents for what they could possibly receive services for. I would also like to then, with no further ado, introduce the 2 presenters who are going to be talking to you today. The first of which is from the Bureau for Developmental Disabilities, and her name is Emma Gallenberger. I did it very well this time. And Emma Gallenberger, again, is with the Bureau for Developmental Disabilities. After her presentation, there is a booth set up there. I would highly encourage you, if you have not applied for the waiver through BEADS, again, the Bureau for Developmental Disabilities, that you go to that booth and you get the application. Again, after her presentation, I highly encourage, if you have not done so already, that is your first step. Then the next person who's going to be speaking to you today is Stacy Singer, and she is the Vocational Rehabilitation Specialist, and that is an organization, a group that we end up inviting to your students, your children's senior PACE conference in order for vocational rehabilitation to attend to discuss what your child will be able to receive post-public education, post-secondary. So we're starting with BEADS, and I'm going to introduce you to Emma.
Have any of you applied for BEADS services? So you've kind of been through that whole process. It's important for you to do it, just because that's your entry, that application is your entry into the program. It goes from the date that you apply. A short wait list at this point. It's only like 8 months. Years ago, it was like 10 years. So you change, but they've also changed the waiver at the same time. We work primarily with people with developmental disabilities. So we're looking at students who would have an intellectual disability, autism, cerebral palsy, seizure disorder, or some other disability similar to those. Okay? The first thing that you would, once you make your application, you're found eligible, they'll put you on a wait list, they'll call you up saying, oh, you've been targeted, come in, you'll be eligible for the family support waiver. The family support waiver is a small amount of money. It's not, $17,000 about, a little bit more, to provide services for the person in their home. That's basically how it's used. There's a different kind of waiver called the Community Integration and Rehabilitation Waiver that's much larger. It can meet their needs. These are for people who are living out in the community and they need additional supports. It's harder to get that waiver. That's how the state decided to disperse the money. We also do group homes. So sometimes people move into group homes shortly as they become adults, families feel more comfortable with them in that setting than in a waiver setting. We have several throughout the area. In Opportunity Enterprises is one that has several group homes. I work also with Tradewinds. There's Dungarvan, and there's people down south, they're all over, we cover 7 counties. The one thing that I didn't mention the last time is that when you apply and become eligible for waiver, you then have to apply for Medicaid. That child can receive Medicaid services even though you're working, because it's a waiver. Parents' income is waived. Okay? So they can get that Medicaid card at the same time that they're covered by your insurance as well. But it's another process you have to go that's separate from our office. You have to apply for Medicaid. And you can't really apply until after he's found eligible, because Medicaid is going to need that information, that they're eligible for services from us, and that's why you're applying. It's important when they turn 18 that you make sure the Medicaid stays active and appropriate in order to continue to get the waiver services. Because Medicaid will switch the kind of Medicaid you have, and that kind that they switch to often doesn't cover waiver services. So just to kind of like in the end, when that happens when they turn 18, it's very important to apply for SSI, because that's also another entry into Medicaid as well. Besides group homes, we also look at nursing homes that have people with developmental disabilities. We cover the whole range of ages from shortly after birth through 90s. People are lucky to live that long. Our office is located in Erie on Ridge Road. Call us if you have any questions. We have a table with some applications. I don't know if we brought enough, but I brought cards, so you can call us for that.
Stacy, again, with Vocational Rehabilitation Services. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Stacy. I work for Voc Rehab out of Valparaiso. Our agency is somewhat similar to BEADS in that we are a government-supported agency, so it is free for consumers. What we do, as opposed to BEADS, kind of primarily focuses on life. We focus on employment. So for a participant who wants to, say, work in the future, whether they're graduating high school, or maybe they're older and they just maybe they'll need some assistance with job coaching or any kind of adaptive devices, that is what we're here for. There's actually a video. I'm going to try to make it work this time, because last time there were some technical difficulties, but I'm going to play it, so hopefully it'll answer some questions. Once it's done, I'll go over a couple other things and then answer any questions you may have.
Most of us go to work. Some of us right out of high school and some a little later. Need some support to get a job? Indiana Vocational Rehabilitation Services may be able to help.
What is vocational rehabilitation?
Indiana Vocational Rehabilitation Services, sometimes referred to as just VR, is an employment program for high school students and adults with disabilities. If you have an identified physical, mental health, or learning disability, VR can help you gain skills, find a job, start your first career, or discover a new one. VR can even help you if you already have a job but are struggling to keep it because of your disability. How does it work? First, you need to be referred to VR so they know you're interested in their services. We'll talk more about referral in a minute. Next, you'll meet with a VR counselor to complete an application. She will then see if you're eligible for VR services. Bring any relevant medical information about your disability to your first appointment. Your counselor may also ask you to participate in some evaluations. Don't worry, VR will pay for any medical or other type of evaluation they might need in order to determine your eligibility. Once your counselor determines your eligibility, you'll work together to develop an individualized plan for employment, or IPE. You may also do some activities to learn about different types of careers and what works best for you.
Is that it?
With your IPE guiding you, you'll work with your counselor and possibly with other service providers on things like writing a resume, interviewing skills, and on actually searching for a job. The last step in the process is case closure. That happens after you found a job. Work there for at least 90 days, and you and your counselor agree that things are going well.
Am I eligible for VR services too?
You're eligible if you have a physical or mental condition that makes it difficult for you to work, and if VR sees you need and could benefit from VR services.
even if it doesn't look as if I have a disability?
Yes, even then. VR helps people with lots of different disabilities, like autism, back injuries, other physical impairments, Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, or Parkinson's. They also help people who are deaf or hard of hearing, blind or visually impaired, and people with less obvious challenges like learning disabilities, post-traumatic stress disorder, traumatic brain injury, or bipolar disorder.
How will VR know that I need services?
Anyone can refer you to VR. Teachers and family members will often make a referral for a high school student. You can even refer yourself by contacting your local Indiana VR office.
If I'm eligible, what services could VR provide?
That will depend on what you need. Services may include, but aren't necessarily limited to, vocational guidance and counseling, job placement assistance, training and education, medical services to correct or modify a physical or mental health challenge, assistive technology, including devices like speech-to-text software, or special keyboard or screen readers for your computer.
But how much does all this cost?
There's no charge for VR services. However, VR does use other funding from things like insurance, Medicaid, or federal student aid to help pay for certain costs.
What if I have a job and it doesn't work out? Will VR still help if I'm laid off or I get fired?
Contact your VR counselor. If appropriate, she can reopen your case. You can work together to find out what went wrong, if anything, and find another job.
It all sounds good. What are my responsibilities?
When you come to VR, you'll tell your counselor about your interests, strengths, and anything that you might need to be successful at work. You'll also help your VR counselor create your individualized plan for employment. Then you'll need to make some choices about your job goals. What kind of work would you like to do? Indoors or outdoors? And whether you'd like to work with a team or on your own. Be prepared to answer questions and to ask some of your own.
How do I contact Indiana VR?
Indiana VR has several local offices around the state. You can find an office directory online at the link shown here. Or pick up information about VR at your high school guidance office, the Office of Disability Services at your college, or your local Work One office.
That was VR in a nutshell. Obviously, we're employment-based, so we offer kind of a plethora of different services that's based on individuals. So one person who receives one service, they may have the same exact disability, but they may not receive the same exact service as another person. Again, so we're looking at each individual person for what they are needing and what they want to do in life. Currently, right now, we are under what is called an order of selection. This is kind of a state guideline that's been passed. It's temporary. We're not sure how long it's going to last, but it does kind of put a limitation on who can get in for services, and it's based on the severity of the disability. There's different levels that's kind of, I would say, determined eligible by our intake counselor. They would let you know either way if you were put on the deferment list or if you were made eligible for immediate services. There's no way to tell who will be eligible just by looking or just by coming in, so you have to meet with an intake counselor first. If you have any questions, you are more than welcome to come to our table and ask me. There's also 2 other counselors there that would love to help you. And you are more than willing to, or happy to, you are more than welcome to call the office at any time to ask questions.
So again, Stacy works with Blind Low Vision as well as with school district support. We also have Karen Schimpf here, who is specifically the vocational rehabilitation specialist for Duneland. Billy is the vocational rehabilitation specialist for Portage. So if you want to stop by that office to talk to her, that would be excellent. 2 people that I forgot to mention earlier, and they are so important, are Becky Holman and Ezra Burke. Those are the 2 special education teachers that have been working hand in hand with that group of 4 parents as well as Mr. Longacre in making sure that these types of events happen and that initiatives continue to be a focus within our schools for students who receive special education services.